All right. How are you guys? Great.
Reality is doing a presentation in front of us. I have got so much else up to date. And programs is always working on.
That's why I carry the. They come to me for 30 slides. I'm like, no. Sure. Good to see you, Joe. Really good. Yeah. Okay.
Okay, is there a special consent?
Let me look it up while we're.
Okay, all right, thank you.
Yes. Yeah.
My grandmother was.
Oh, no. You're there.
Same place I was, well, last time you saw me. 4 hours. I finally got up and I ran and got some.
Yeah, I know.
Down,
This is a.
we'll be trying to make it go up.
By the, and I just funded. So this is jointly owned by Metro Health.
Wait for him.
Do you know where? Unless you want to start without her. It's up to you. It's real too.
I'm sure she's coming. There she is.
Okay. I was like, I'm trying to write to the CEO.
Hey, it was your chief of staff who ratted you out.
I was like, until they looked at me, like, what's going on? Like, I'm waiting for
All right.
Okay, you can start.
Are we ready?
Yes.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you all. We are about to now open the Wednesday, February 25th, 2026 meeting of the full board of the Metro Health System. As a reminder, we are being recorded on YouTube, so please be cognizant of that. We have a quorum, so the meeting is officially open. First of all, I'd like to ask for a motion to approve the minutes of January 28th, 2026. So moved. Sorry. Thank you. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? So moved. I now will ask everyone if you'll just indulge me for a couple of minutes. There are a few announcements I'd like to get through, mostly positive and a few not quite as positive. First of all, I will ask everyone to join me in giving a hand to our nurses. I was privileged last week to listen in. The Maggie presentation, and not only were they recognized, I told them I always do good because I work with them, I know how good, but they even got recognized Maggie with distinction, and there's no other hospital in the state that's doing that. So I think we really should be grateful to, so when you see a nurse, thank them for the great work that they're doing for our system. So I want you to know the board is very highly impressed with what you're doing. We're thankful for what you do. So
Thank you, Dr.
all right. Second, a more personal thing. If you know about Metro Health, you know we have a strong, at least I think we have a very strong community health program. And actually that community health program started 50 years ago in February 29th, I'm told, in 1976 at a place called Clements Center. And it was with the original East Side Center. I actually joined it in 82. And we're having a little mini second celebration of recognition of the start, because a lot of what we do, what I like to tell people is, when Metro was running into these areas, in the clinic and other places were moving out, Metro moved into these communities and did community health. So I think everyone should just take a minute to remember, this is one of the proud things Metro Health did then and is still doing. It's one of the things that I am most proud of what Metro Health stands for. So I think we certainly should recognize that. But I can't have all good news. We are losing a couple of board members. Dr. Adam Jacobs has let us know of his resignation, and we want to thank him for his hard work. And Ms. Dumas is also leaving us after this meeting. I want to recognize her for her hard work, and I want to personally thank her. I asked her to do so many things, and without a question, if I called and said, can you help with this? Sharon would say, yes, I'll help you, Dr. Walker. And so I personally thank you for your service to us, and we will miss you. You're always welcome, but we will miss you.
I will miss all of you guys too.
Thank you for that. All right, now I think that brings us to our mission moment. So. And Dr. Alexander, if you want to key it on.
So I just would like to mention to you, Mr. Muss, that, you know, we do have committees that are open. So just in case, you know, you find yourself with a little extra time. All right. That having been said, our mission moment, yet again, we have another incredible video to share with you. Have your tissue handy, as always. That this is the tale of one of our patients who was diagnosed with ovarian cancer. And for those of you that aren't really involved in medicine, ovarian cancer is extremely challenging, both to diagnose and treat, because many times by the time you develop symptoms, it usually is widespread disease, and there really is no great screening tool. It's not like we have a mammogram that we do for breast, you know, cancer, or our other modes through which we can screen reliably. So it really is particularly challenging, which I think makes her story all the more poignant. So with that.
Name is Patricia Williams. I'm a mother, a grandmother, an aunt, a friend, an activist in many ways. And officially today, a cancer survivor. I was debating with whether or not I was going to have treatment. I just didn't want to be a burden. So I have a doctor's appointment today. So we're waiting for Chip. My kids were in the room with me when Dr. Wiper came in, and he was sitting at the foot of the bed with a team member on either side of him. And he said, "Hi, I'm Dr. Wiper. You can call me Chip." He was the right person for me and my family. You know, we all just bonded immediately. His first conversations were about helping you get better, not what's wrong with you.
Ten for 10? What are we doing?
10 for 10.
Okay.
My kids said, "Ma, 10 for 10. They thought about my age, I guess, and, you know, just more life. You know, you can live 10 more years with just 10 months of treatment." My team is Dr. Wiper, he's the oncologist. Dr. Harrington is the palliative care doctor. And Meredith is the nurse that administers the treatment. So they all have been lifesavers, literally. They've never made me feel any other way than they are here for me. And I'm sure they're like that with all of their patients because that's who they are, but it feels personal. And it's very helpful when you're comfortable with people who are taking care of your health. It was tough from the beginning to the end. The whole process was grueling, but my family, my village just picked me up and pulled me through it. And I ring this bell for me and for you. I was surrounded by loved ones, and getting to that day was monumental because, you know, I never thought I could or would, and I did.
Thank you again. If you need another reminder of why we do this, that's why we do this work. Thank you all. All right, I think we're ready for our committee reports, and we'll start with quality, safety, and experience. Ron G.
Thank you, Dr. Walker. Quality, Safety and Experience Committee met today and started with our patient safety great catch, which was a story about one of the telemetry floors and the staff nurse catching an issue that could potentially have been transmitted to harm to patient. They actually identified the issue, worked with the IT team, identified the defect, and then made the correction and had a brief discussion about the culture of safety within Metro Health and how the cultural safety helps protect patients at Metro Health in the Northeast Ohio market. We then went and had our update from Dr. Golub related to the quality assurance performance improvement plan, the role of the board in that plan, the role of the QAPI plan, and the improvement of safety of care here at Metro Health and across the system, and how it intertwines within governmental and state agencies as well as within accrediting bodies, but more importantly, how it raises the bar and how it identifies opportunities for improvement in care across the Northeast Ohio market. We then went into executive session, had some discussion about the 2025 system performance goals, did a review, reviewed some patient safety events, and then had an update about quality, safety, and experience for 2026. Had a brief update about a recent ODH visit, and then had a legal update, at which point we can went ahead and adjourn the meeting. If anybody's questions.
Thank you, Ron. Second, we had a finance committee, Mr. Moss.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. The Finance Committee met prior to this meeting, Wednesday at 1 p.m. ClearStare reported out. We have $672 million of cash and unrestricted investments. There's three buckets. There's the non-reserve, which is about $200 million. That portion was up, the investment portion up $27.6 million for 2025. That was up, and that was the previous year was up 13.1% in 2024. The captive, which has about $122 million, their investments were up $14.5 million or 13.6%. And the reserve, which is our conservative money, it makes up $233 million. And that was even up 5.6% in 2025, from 4.3% in 2024. Due to the strong performance of our growth stocks, ClearStare recommended that we move $6 million out of the growth equity market and into value funds. Those are funds, stocks that are more stodgy, high dividend yielding. This brings over, and our overall equity exposure in all our investments of the $672 million is about 20%. And that's the same exposure as of 2018. Then we had Jeff Rooney give us an update, our CFO, on our financials. And in 2025, I'm still stuck on EBIT, I'm sorry, is $220 million, which is $73 million above budget, but approximately $130 million more than last year. If we exclude HAP 2.0 and other one-time items, EVA would have been $136 million, which would have been $10 million below budget, but $33 million more than last year. Revenue was, again, excluding those one times, revenue was off 1% from budget, but up 7% from last year. And expenses were better 0.6% of budget and 5.9% above last year. Pharmacies continues to do well. My projection is that we made about $20 million more this year in pharmacies. Assets are approximately $2.9 billion. That's up a tad. Payer mix, Medicare went from 2024, 36.5 to 37.1. Commercial went from 28.5 to 30%. Medicaid dropped from 29.6 to 26.4, and self-pay increased from 5.8 to 6.6. Cash on hand was 119 days. That's down from 125 the previous year and 154 in 2019. And we had, as mentioned, $663 million cash on hand versus $665 million cash on hand in 2024. We had a capital budget update. We've still have 25% to spend on our budget for 2025, which was about 45, which the total of 2025 was $45 million. And as we discussed, we've raised the capital budget for 2026, which we have a recommendation. We passed, finance passed a resolution to the board to present it to the board to go from 45 million to 65 million. And then, again, we had two resolutions. One resolution had to do with hiring consultants for the enterprise resource planning, and the other to increase the capital budget for 2026. In conclusion, if we factor out those one-time revenue and stock, we did outpace last year and previous year. We continue for the last since the last few years, even though revenue continues to go up. It's the first year we had actually expenses go down, so our revenue that outpaced our expenses, and thus we ended up 33 million more than last year. And that's my report. Any questions?
Hearing none, thank you, Mr. Chairman. Third, we have the Strategic Planning Committee. Mr. Arnold.
Thank you, Dr. Walker. The Strategic Planning Committee met on February 11th. It was our first meeting, our inaugural meeting. As a reminder, the committee has strategy, marketing, communications, and government relations as four of its pillars that it will discuss during the course of the committee. During our first committee meeting, we discussed and revised our charter, which will now be in the hands of the governance committee to review those changes. We then went into executive session to have a discussion around our strategic stabilization and an update on our trauma strategy. Coming back into public session, we decided to add 2 more meetings to the calendar, just given the scope of all the pillars that we need to address in the committee. We wanted to make sure we have more flexibility to cover all of the content that needed to be covered, and provided the advice of board members that we should be providing. So we added 2 meetings. Since then, based on the follow-up from our February 11th meeting, we have decided to cancel the March 11th meeting, just because there was significant follow-up that needs to be done to prepare for future meetings. We will plan to keep the June 17th meeting, and those are the meeting summary from the Strategic Planning Committee Chair.
Thank you. Any questions? Thank you, Mr. Chairman. We're now ready for the consent agenda. As Mr. Moss mentioned, there are 2 items from the Finance Committee. One is a recommendation to approve the enterprise resource planning system implementation consultants, and the second one is the recommendation to approve an amended capital budget for the Metro Health System for the 2026 fiscal year. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, could I have a motion to approve the consent agenda?
So moved. Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any extensions? It carries. Thank you very much. We're now ready for our President and CEO's report. Dr. Alexander.
Thank you so much, Dr. Walker. The full details, of course, are in your board book. This morning, I started off my day in a prayer service and celebration as we bring to a close Black History Month. It was an amazing celebration with some local religious leaders, some of our employees, some other community stakeholders, one of our own employees who sang. It was just breathtaking, just such a lovely event, and really so fortunate that it really coincided with yesterday being Dr. Clement's birthday. He would have been 106. And as we celebrate the 50th anniversary of the opening of the Clement Center, where as a junior faculty member, I spent part of my time, and it was just an amazing experience. So the confluence of all those came together this morning at that ceremony. So thanks to all who worked hard on planning that and all of the events of the month. Dr. Walker already mentioned the magnet status, so just in case anybody didn't hear it, we are the only hospital in Ohio to achieve this status with distinction. So many thanks to Dr. Mori and her team and all of the nurses who worked so hard to achieve this. Before stepping into this role, Dr. Mori had a large responsibility with Magnet, so we owe you twice the thanks on that one. On February the 5th, we had the State of the System presentations where we reviewed 2025 retrospectively and the successes of that year, as well as laid the foundation for what all we hope to achieve in 2026. following that presentation, Dr. Golub joined me as I faced questions from the media, some of which were centered on the Cleveland Clinic's Level 1 Trauma Center, but some of it just really focused on general questions about the hospital system. So I think that was a very good interaction, and many thanks to Dr. Golub for joining me on that. Speaking of trauma, we've officially named a dyad leadership to the trauma division, Dr. Nimit Patel and Dr. Laura Kreiner, and they'll be splitting administrative and clinical leadership duties for that division. And we believe that they've long been dedicated to the trauma division, and having that firm leadership dyad in place is really going to create some stability for that division. Dr. Joseph, who's here with us now, is also the interim chair of surgery and has led to the development of more stability within that division. Just a few words about travels. In the last few weeks, I've been on quite a few airplanes. I was in Washington, D.C. for a handful of days, really advocating for us, making sure that our legislators know the important work that we do and the importance of the funding streams that come to us that support that work. I was also briefly in Florida doing some fundraising before returning back home. So some success there. I'll continue to keep you in the loop as I travel. I'll be going back to DC again in the spring. And then just a few words on our Pride Network. We are going to be expanding our offerings to the West Park office. So that would mean in addition to Brooklyn, Brecksville, and Cleveland Heights, we will have a presence at West Park. At the Gordon Square location, we're pivoting away from clinical work within the center itself. We'll still have a presence there. We'll be able to provide assistance to patients that come through, get them connected to care, and then we will have our mobile unit that will service at that location in an ongoing way as well. So more to come on that, but just kind of tweaking a little bit of the services that we provide and where we provide them. So I think that concludes my report, but happy to take any questions now or later.
I had one question actually about the Pride Clinic. I know that when Ohio City opened, that Urban Community School would not allow us to move Pride services to that site. And so that's why we opened the Gordon Square site. So I wondered if there's been any progress on letting Pride services operate at the Gordon Squares at the Ohio City site.
So we're looking, and maybe we can talk a little bit offline. We're looking really at all locations that might serve our Pride
I'm
community
thinking that
even
neighborhood
better.
particularly.
Yeah,
So
yeah, we can talk a little bit more.
Okay, good. Thank you, Dr. Alexander. We're now ready for the medical staff report. Dr. Tackle.
Actually,
Are you doing that? Oh, okay, I'm sorry.
Next time Joe's gonna do it, so this will probably be my last time that I will do unless I have to step in here and there. So a couple of things. The first is the Medical Hall of Honor. So that celebration is again slated for March 15th. Hopefully, if you haven't already, all members of the board are invited. If you haven't received their invitations, hopefully you'll be receiving them soon. It will be held at the Global Center. It's going to be a brunch, and really again to celebrate our Metro Health legends. And so we hope to see you all there. And we're looking forward to that. The entirety of the medical staff is also invited. Dr. Tagliafiero, Dr. Stepnick, Dr. Mori, and Dr. Lisa Ramirez, who's the chair of our wellness committee, held a series of primary care listening sessions this past month. There were 6 sessions. They will culminate in a town hall, which is slated for the end of March, so March 27th. And this was really done to address some of the concerns of our primary care base, to listen to their concerns and hopefully come back to them with some solutions, or at least for ongoing discussions as to how we can better improve the conditions for our primary care base. We also, as we continue to focus on promoting our faculty, Dr. Cynthia Cabu and members of our Office of Professional Affairs will be hosting a series of academic lunch series. And they're really done to help prepare people for academic promotion, to talk through some of the new guidelines for promotion, which have really favored our clinicians. In fact, focus more, not only on the research and academics, but also on clinical impact as well. And so that has actually opened up more options for some of our the great clinical work that our physicians do. So they'll be happening over the next several weeks, excuse me. And then March 30th is Doctor's Day. So there will be a Doctor's Day celebration in our Medical Staff Wellness Center. And we'll also just be sending out some treats to our medical staff as well, just to, again, show our appreciation for everything that they do. We just on Monday released a survey to our medical staff. It's done through the American Medical Association's AMA biopsy. And although we've had many surveys, this one really is specifically geared towards the medical staff, and it's really to address issues around wellness and burnout, and again, so that we can do some very targeted interventions to our medical staff. So that will be open for a couple of weeks, and then once we do get all of the results, we'll likely Dr. Tagliaferro, I'm sure, will present those findings to you. One really important announcement that happened that was placed on the MIV today is regarding our Gene and Cell Therapy Institute in Metro Health. So a research team from both, with support from both Case Western and Metro Health, and the team was led by Dr. Hyojin Bien and Dr. Shojin Liu, made an important discovery that really will help us treat aggressive forms of leukemia. Essentially, their research is in the development of a vector. It's an RNA-based vector, which allows us to deliver cancer-specific treatments to resistant leukemia cells. And this is really, as we know, kind of the wave in the future for cancer care. Although most of the research in gene therapy is targeted more towards leukemia and blood disorders blood malignancies at this time. But, we do think that in the future, this will likely expand to other types of cancers as well. So this is amazing work. This particular, as I said, molecule they've developed has focused on targeting a specific gene, which is what is felt to drive some of the resistant mechanisms within these leukemias, and certainly will be a very targeted therapy and really a novel therapy in this setting. So I think that this is amazing. Again, shows the innovation and the work that is being led within Metro Health and within this new Gene and Cell Therapy Institute. So that's all of my updates. You should have also received in the board book our minutes from the February 13 medical staff meeting, and that should include the actions, reappointments, reappointments, and actions from February 10, February 24th, which were approved at the February 13 MEC. So with that, I seek your motion for approval, and that ends my report.
Thank you. Any questions for Dr. Joseph? Hearing none, I would ask for a motion to approve the medical staff provider appointments, actions, and reappointments for January 2026.
Excuse me.
I'm sorry.
I did want to acknowledge one retirement that was in the committee meeting. So Dr. Rick Blinkhorn, who was one of our former chairs of medicine, retired this year, and also Thomas Frank, one of our OBGYNs who was here for over 40 years, also retired. So we also just wanted to acknowledge that too.
Thank you.
Thanks.
I think Dr. Blinkhorn started here the same year I did.
Dr. Blinkhorn was the chief resident when I was here. Sorry.
Bringing that to our attention. All right, so we have a motion?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Thank you, Dr. Joseph. All right, I think we're now ready to move into executive session, discuss hospital trade secrets as defined by ORC 1333.61, and to consider the appointment, employment, dismissal, discipline, promotion, demotion, or compensation of a public employee, or the investigation of charges or complaints against a public official, and to conference with the public body's attorney to discuss disputes involving the public body that are subject to pending or imminent court action as defined by ORC 12.1.22G. Could I have a motion?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All right, we'll do a roll call. Mr. Arnold?
Yes.
Mr. Corlett?
Yep.
Ms. Dumas?
Yes.
Mr. Rondi?
Yes.
Ms. Garcia?
Yes.
Ms. Mendez?
Yes.
Mr. Moss?
Yes. Yes.
Got you. Mr. Summers?
Yes.
Dr. Walker says yes. I think we can now move into executive session. You don't get to leave.